What's up, dudes? It's Snail. I'm still sick, by the way, but let's get this bread, homie. It's November now, and that means it's time to look at the best mods of October 2025, where one lucky mod will win the title of Best Mod of the Month. If you want to play any of the mods that we covered today, check the description for download links for both PC and Xbox, and hit the buttons every YouTuber begs you to hit, and go. I love explosions. Explosions are the love language that I whisper softly to super mutants as they wander the Commonwealth. They're the way I kiss raiders goodnight after a long day of scavenging. They're how I express my wonder at the megafauna of the marshes. God, she's just so beautiful. And this first mod is gonna make busting out those love explosions incredibly satisfying. The anti-air launcher from the 6th Messenger is available for both PC and Xbox. This mod adds a peculiar missile launcher to Fallout 4 in that it's a multi-barreled missile or rocket launcher meant mainly for flying enemies and aircraft. This weapon features some customizations, but I found these large, girthy barrels to be most impressive.
Oh my!
You can configure this weapon to fit anywhere from 2 to 3 to, holy shit, 12 barrels, what the fuck? Also of note is the fire and forget barrels that you can attach for sticky fun. You could be aiming in a completely different direction and still hit all of your shots as long as your target isn't taking cover. Of course, this is a perfect weapon for power armor enthusiasts as well, since it looks pretty good with a full suit, and the whole package just feels like it's begging to be handled by a Tin Man who's too amped on jet to die. Oh my god, finally, it's a DAC entry that isn't a weapon mod. This is the Minutemen outfit pack from Degenerate DAC. This pack is available for PC and Xbox and contains just over 24 vanilla-friendly pieces of clothing and armor, all of them level list injected and made to be compatible with any Minutemen mod that you may be running. Although a large portion of the pack is military apparel, civilian pieces like the Diplomat outfit give us enough variety to keep this from being a one-trick pony. The armor values will differ between pieces based on their design and intended purpose, so be aware of that before testing it with a face-tanked mini-nuke. This mod kind of reminds me of the Vault-Tec armor mashup we covered a few months back, in the sense that it does the same thing for the Minutemen as the mashup did for Vault-Tec. It flavorfully expands on in-game options while staying distinctly within the bounds of the lore. My favorite thing about this pack is probably the fact that it's so seamless with the vanilla game. The outfits contain these little details that all sorta add up, breathing new life into an overly familiar faction. Plus, the outfits count as Under Armour apparel, so in the late game, you can fit armor pieces over top of certain body parts where it makes logical sense to do so. Honestly though, a universal armor over clothing system should have just been a vanilla launch feature, but alas, a lot of things that made sense simply never made it into the final game. And here's an example. When you first started playing Fallout 4, did you ever have that moment where you found a tool and thought, man, that would go hard with the raiders? Only to pick it up and find it in your junk tab with absolutely no utility as a weapon? Well, I guess this upset Degenerate DAC as well, because he said, screw this, I'm gonna wrench it up a notch because now it's hammer time. I'm sorry, he didn't actually say that. The tool pack, Garage Melee Weapons, is on both PC and Xbox, and it gives us 3 base tools to use and customize as we see fit. This weapon pack is built around the idea of makeshift garage weapons, so the attachments will reflect exactly that. Yes, the electric hammer is a hammer covered in some copper wire and conductors, the screwdriver shiv has a couple of sharp metal pieces screwed to it, and the disarming wrench is a wrench with a massive hook bolted to the center. As it turns out, a giant hook is extremely effective for disarming enemies. These can get very silly very quickly, and I love the aesthetic changes that come with modifying and upgrading these weapons. They're meant to be proper early game melee weapons, with the hammer and screwdriver spawning in at level 3 and the wrench at level 5, although with attachments they can probably take you well into the mid game. Time for you to get that hard hat on and fix the Commonwealth's problems one swing at a time. And the submachine gun is one of them, actually. I've got some serious beef with this thing. It's kind of weird looking, its proportions feel off, it has a half-stock mod for some fucking reason. Never mind my gun autism though, because at least we got a good replacement in the 45 Auto SMG. This mod comes from Robbie the Kid, and it's for PC only, but it adds a beautiful Thompson SMG as seen in the Honest Hearts DLC for New Vegas. Though the gun is nice, the best part is that this mod actually replaces all of the vanilla submachine guns in the game, including the unique variants like the Silver Shroud submachine gun. So instead of falling into the same pitfall as many other Thompson mods out there, it'll keep your immersion by inserting itself naturally within the game world. I could speak at length about why I think this is a good thing, but to keep it short, I don't like the vanilla submachine gun, and in general the replacement from the 45 Auto SMG brings so much more to the table. Sometimes you just want to take your grandpa's old war gun and trick it out with some dumb Bubba shit, and you know what? That's okay. It's a lot of fun deciding how you get to take out the trash, and Sidearms of the Wasteland is, thankfully, all about options. Similar to their previous output of Revolvers of the Wasteland and That Gun of the Wasteland, both of which we've covered before, Sidearms is a new mod for PC and Xbox that adds 6 base pistols, which all contain extensive customization trees that you can mix and match into whatever configuration your heart desires. Actually, I believe there's like around 120 attachments or something across all the different weapons. There's a Robocop pistol. Oh, that looks so sick. The classic N99 from Fallout 3 in New Vegas. The SOCOM from Metal Gear Solid. Colonel. And so many more combinations that are currently escaping me. The weapons also feature custom animations and a plasma and a laser pistol for those energy weapon enthusiasts. So there's a little something for everyone in this mod. And true to any Gecko in a Can mod, these attachments get put to really good use. Mainly that's due to the way this mod balances the weapons in the workbench. Basically, the receivers are really just cosmetic pieces for the weapons, while the rest of the attachments add up to a greater sum of damage or effect. I can't really say which one of these is my ride or die yet since there's just so many to enjoy, but I will say that having this installed has been a net positive for my game experience just based on the selection alone. It's just a fun collection of little blasters to roll around the Commonwealth with, you know, eliminating enemies all sneaky like. If you need a big blaster instead, then I recommend the biggest iron of them all. The 4-gauge shotgun from the 6th Messenger, once again, is available for PC and Xbox and puts a big-ass shotgun in the game. In real life, 4-bore rifles were used to hunt dangerous game throughout Africa during the age of colonization, and this gun reflects that history by having 2 massive fuck-off barrels, a lot of power, and ammo customization to adapt to any situation as required by your prey. One curious thing about the customization here is that there's an option to fire both barrels at once if you feel like doing so. Also notable is the presence of enemy-specific ammo types like the Pulse Slug ammo, which deals extra damage and effects to mechanical targets like synths or robots. Of course, you might instead choose to go for the Dragon's Breath, which is definitely both a stylish and practical choice, or maybe just good old buckshot. But in any case, you'll have so much fun tearing straight through enemies of all types, you may forget to check what the quest you're on actually wants you to do. No, it has nothing to do with slamming Psycho and gibbing raiders. Get help. Active Quest HUD will help you by displaying your active quests in a box to the side of the screen, much like 76 does with its quests. The difference to 76, however, is that this heads-up display is fully customizable with the mod configuration menu, so you can change color, size, and the dimensions of the layout from within the game. I know this seems small, but it's in the same vein as wheel menu from my beginner mods video, in that it helps you access information without needing to break your immersion by going into your Pip-Boy. Immersion is stupidly important in this game, and it's even better when a mod provides that. Quick question. You a freak by any chance? I ask because this might be the perfect mod for you. Vault-Tec Freaks adds a new group of enemies to 17 locations within the Commonwealth, and these freaks are packin'. The lore behind these guys is basically that a cult has emerged within the Commonwealth surrounding Vault-Tec and their iconic mascot, the Vault Boy. Now they show their membership to this cult by wearing these Vault suits and these demented Vault Boy masks that effectively make them look like lethal bobbleheads. However, if you manage to kill a few and grab their masks, you'll get to collect a sweet set of horror-themed Vault Boy masks for yourself. Love me some collectibles, so having different masks was an instant bonus for me. Now, funny enough, sometimes if 2 groups of freaks come into close contact with one another, they'll actually ignore you and start fighting each other instead. Well, this is what's known as a freak-off, and usually it's a lot more fun to watch than it is to participate in, but just be glad baby oil doesn't exist in post-nuclear Boston. The best part of this mod is just questing normally, and they'll appear by complete surprise in so many places in the Commonwealth, you're never going to miss them. So after a hard day of questing, it figures that the Commonwealth's boogeyman needs a place to post his ass up for the night, right? Settlement Innkeeper is a mod strictly for PC that adds a new vendor table and some locked beds so you can finally start paying your way in your settlements. The mod is pretty easy to use, just build an Innkeeper counter and a matching locked bed from the same menu and assign a settler to the table. After this, you can just walk up to the Innkeeper like, "What's up with that vanilla face?" Interact with the menu that comes up and reserve a suite. You'll find that the locked bed is now available for you to sleep in for the next 24 hours, and after that 24 hours is up, the bed gets locked out again. There are some additional options like storing your gear with the Innkeeper, which I found to be more novel than just sticking everything in a chest and forgetting about it. You can also ask what the rates are for the rooms and how morale has been in the settlement. However, the biggest benefit of this mod was the excuse to build a nice little hotel room I could visit as an alternative player home. I mean, from a roleplay standpoint, right, this mod has a ton of utility. If you're building a thriving Wasteland village, that place likely has shops and vendors and thus a local economy. I mean, your settlement is your settlement. It's not just any random dungeon that you can stumble into, steal shit from, and then get killed by an otherworldly creature in, is it? Right, maybe not. However, Blue Hill's research facility is that kind of place, and it's a new horror quest mod that's available for PC and Xbox. Inspired by games like Alien Isolation, it features a sprawling underground dungeon, a deep immersive lore, and storyline that's presented out of order for you to discover. This mod's biggest strengths are its story pacing and its environmental storytelling. Knowing how hard these guys were to fight, come on, die! No, f you. This doesn't fill me with confidence. Splatters and skeletons reveal the sight of self-deletes. Oh, this guy shot himself. Look at that. Where smears on floors and beds tell a darker tale of a violent fate that made self-deleting look better by comparison. As I normally do when I talk about these quest mods, I'm not going to spoil anything about it because it really is worth playing. Don't even watch my live stream actually, unless you're on PlayStation or something, but otherwise you should really play it. This mod took me 3 hours to play through and I was very thorough with my exploration. I didn't want to drink that water, but here we are. Which wasn't very hard for me to do considering every door opened a new possibility to uncover the truth, and the pacing kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. Like when I'm about to announce the best mod of the month. Here's the runner-ups for October. Morvox The Destroyer is a mod that adds 3 massive tanky deathclaws to the Commonwealth as super hard boss encounters. I fought the one in the glowing sea and it took a whole hell of a lot of firepower to kill him. I always felt Fallout 4 needs more true boss encounters just like this, and the gigantic angry lizard definitely seemed to fit the bill here. Next, the Marine Shotgun from Degenerate DAC on both PC and Xbox adds a burst fire shotgun to Fallout 4 and a whole host of customization to go with it. You can equip different ammo types like the pulse slugs I mentioned earlier or Dragon's Breath, and overall it's a great weapon. The reason it's in runner-ups and not in the best of category is because, I shit you not, October was mostly going to be weapons until like the 28th. And DAC has already released 2 other mods that I feel were a little bit more impactful this month anyway. And the winner for the best mod of the month is actually a really close call. See, Blue Hill's research facility is a fantastic quest mod and dungeon mod with a lot going for it. It's an experience that I think everyone should have. That's how much I enjoyed my time with it. However, Minutemen outfit pack fills a niche that I just haven't seen filled in such a vanilla friendly way before, and it fleshes out one of my favorite factions in all of Fallout lore. It's a tough decision, but I think I'm gonna... just kidding. I'm not gonna decide shit. You decide! That's right, comment down below for which one you think deserves it. I'll name the winner in the next Best Mods of the Month video. But until then, thanks for watching, and thank you to the patrons and channel members on the screen. SnailOXD is only possible by your generous support, even if the support you offer is just a view and a like, so don't forget to leave one of those before you go. Also, once again, all mod links are in the description for download either for Xbox or PC, whichever one you play, along with the SnailOXD Discord server link, Patreon, and my song on Spotify. Take care, brush your hair. I'm SnailOXD, and I'm out of here. Peace, dudes. Oh my god, my voice feels like shredded lettuce right now. I should have waited at least a day before I did this, man. Fuck.